Hi, I am Nick Shell, a certified Enneagram coach. I have taken a break from making videos for a while because I'm in the process of actually writing a book on Enneagram. So I'm very excited. The book is complete, but it is in the editing stage. So we'll see when it actually hits the light of day or Amazon, however I can get the book out there. But it is cool. That's why I haven't been making as many videos, or many at all. I've written a book. So ultimately, as you can imagine, a lot of the video content I will create when I have time to create it will be things that I've kind of learned from the process of writing a book. This is where I want to start with. And I feel like I've always talked about this, that you see yourself as one way, yet how does the rest of the world see you? There can be quite a difference in the way that you perceive yourself versus how the rest of the world perceives you. And there's one word that's come back to me, I'd say over the last 2 years, as people have described me, who've worked with me, who've been friends with me, who are my family. And the word is intense. If there was one word to describe me, it's intense. I've heard 2 people describe me with that word, and I wasn't even asking to be described. They said, "You kind of remind me of this other guy, but you're more intense than he is. He's not as intense as you are." So I should unpack that. That's part of who I am. And that's something, for better or worse, that I have to offer the world, is to be intense. Now, this channel is ultimately always going to be about Enneagram coach, the Enneagram personality assessments, and my perspective as an Enneagram coach. So I'm always going to ask, when I learn something about myself, I always want to ask why. How does that connect back to Enneagram? And so for me, I'm intense. Okay, well, we know that there are 3 subtypes of every Enneagram type. I am the 6th, the loyal skeptic. And my main subtype is the sexual subtype, or less awkwardly named, 1-to-1. In other words, by default, in connecting with people, I'm most likely to connect one-on-one with another person instead of the whole group and try to make everybody happy first, or even self-preservation. How can I keep myself number one in the situation? What I'd rather do is connect with other people first. So by default, even when I'm in a larger group, I'm still going to single somebody else out and try to get into a deep conversation with them. If it's a half a dozen people in the room, I'm still going to try to ultimately probably make it a deeper conversation, never about sports or politics or something so tribalistic or what's on the news. To me, that's just not interesting. I care about bigger stuff because I feel ultimately, I guess, that connects me to other people, and people perceive me as intense because of that. People perceive me as someone who knows I know what I want, and I go after it and I get it. And if I don't want it, I don't waste my time with it. I think that's not necessarily exclusive to my Enneagram type. I think that in life, as you get older, I think it only makes sense that you realize how little in life actually matters and how much of it's a waste of time. So in the time that I've got left, how can I focus that on being worth my while? And for the people in my life, how can I get to know them better, and how can they get to know me better? Now, as an Enneagram 6, I'd say that's ultimately in the name of security. Social security, investing in those relationships. That's probably why I am the way that I am. But you can see this even at how I work and in any kind of project that I'm working on. It is very intense. I want to do the best job I can at that. I want to be the most efficient at it, and then I want to move on to the next thing. I don't want that hanging over me. I want to be able to check it off the list and I know that I did my best, or at least, again, efficiency is a really big deal to me. Not having my time wasted. We could say, well, that's because I have a 7 wing. I'm in 6 wing 7. That's my dominant wing. We could say that. But ultimately, if you can relate to me, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear in the comments, whether you know your Enneagram type or not. Do people describe you as intense? Now let's close this video by me reminding myself out loud. People had to tell me that I was intense. I didn't know that. In fact, the first time I heard it, specifically, I guess heard it, like someone said it and it connected with me, they said high strung / intense. And that was a shock to me. I did not know that. I thought I was easygoing. And now that I've got into Enneagram, I've learned that actually my growth as a person is an Enneagram 9. That's the person who is calm. But I'm not calm. Actually, even my sister, when we were learning about Enneagram, she said, I'd compare you to Tony the Tiger. Pretty intense. So there we go. That word has been thrown at me a lot. I'm not ashamed of it. I accept it. But it can be used for better or for worse. It can make me into a nightmare, or it can make me into someone who's definitely of great service and help. But that's one of the ways the outside world sees me. So this is me embracing that and learning that about myself. As an Enneagram 6, I'm always wanting to improve myself. I never want to be locked out from the truth, especially if it's something about me that I can understand better and improve. Because the more I can improve myself, the better I can be for the rest of the world. Closing with this thought of Maslow's hierarchy of needs pyramid. At the very top is about transcending yourself, helping other people. I would say that it's pretty hard to help other people when you can't first help yourself, which if you're familiar with the Enneagram 2, that's kind of their whole complex. They're so focused on helping other people that they tend to help themselves last. And that's part of life. Part of life sometimes is helping others before yourself. But for people like me, I've gotten to a place in life where I've learned a lot. And now for me to improve myself, I think the ultimate goal on that, why do I care about it? Because it's how I'm going to help other people. So for me, I use intensity for that. And that's how the world sees me. All right, talk about you now. I want to know about you. Are you intense? Have you been described that way? How do you see that play out in your personality? Tell me in the comments below.